Hello everyone, my name is Joy and you are welcome to Learning with Joy. In today's lesson, we are looking at other ways to say that something is expensive. When something is expensive, it means that it costs a lot of money or requires a high price. Now, the opposite of expensive is cheap. Examples: the repairs for my car were more expensive than I expected. We decided not to buy the painting because it was too expensive. The first word we can use to replace expensive in today's lesson is costly. Costly. Now you can use the word costly to describe something that costs a lot. It is not usually used for things you buy in shops. Examples: renovating the entire house turned out to be a very costly project. They decided against buying the car because the maintenance was too costly. The second word we can use to replace expensive is pricey. Pricey. Now, pricey is a casual or informal way to say that something is high priced. Examples: the hotel by the beach looked amazing, but it was very pricey. That boutique sells beautiful clothes, but everything is so pricey. The next word we can use to replace expensive is dear. Dear. In English, dear can mean expensive, but it is more commonly used in British English than in American English. It is not usually used before a noun and is usually used with quite, to, and very. Examples: the restaurant was lovely, but the food was quite dear. Holidays in that area can be dear during peak season. The next word we can use to replace expensive is exclusive. Exclusive. To talk about a place that is very expensive, you can use the adjective exclusive. Exclusive implies luxury, high quality, high status, and often a high cost of something limited to a selected group of people. Examples: they vacationed at an exclusive island resort accessible only by private jets. The club is so exclusive that membership is by invitation only. In informal English, in place of exclusive, you can use fancy or posh. These words imply that these are things that are enjoyed by people in a high social class, but posh is more common in British English than in American English. Examples: his new apartment is in a fancy neighborhood with tree-lined streets. We had dinner at a fancy restaurant where the chefs create custom dishes. They booked a room at a posh hotel with stunning views and top-notch service. Her office has a posh interior, complete with designer furniture and artwork. The next words we can use to replace expensive is exorbitant or extortionate. If the price of something is extremely high, excessive, or unreasonable, you can say that it is exorbitant or extortionate. Examples: they charged an exorbitant fee for last-minute flight tickets. The lawyer's services came with an exorbitant hourly rate. She couldn't afford the extortionate fees for the private school. They were shocked by the extortionate price of basic groceries at the resort. Astronomical is the next word that can replace expensive. Astronomical can be used informally to say that the price of something is extremely expensive. Examples: the hospital bill was astronomical, even after insurance coverage. The cost of the luxury yacht was astronomical, far beyond what most people could afford. Now, if you think the price of something is unreasonably high or difficult to afford, but still something you might pay, you can use the word stiff or steep. Both stiff and steep are used informally. Examples: the hotel charges a steep fee for room service. There is a steep price to pay if you park in the wrong spot downtown. I found the perfect pair of shoes, but the price tag was steep. She wanted to take the course, but the tuition was too steep. The next word we can use to replace expensive is unaffordable. Unaffordable. If something is unaffordable, it costs too much for people to be able to buy or pay for it. Examples: the new iPhone is so unaffordable that I can't buy it this year. The rent in the city center is unaffordable for most students. Now you can use punitive and usurious to say that taxes, fees, or charges are unfairly high. These words are used more in writing than in speech. Examples: the hotel charged punitive fees for late checkout, almost doubling my bill. The new parking fines are so punitive that no one dares to park illegally anymore. The credit card company charged usurious interest rates, making it hard for John to pay off his debts. Some banks were fined for offering usurious loans to vulnerable communities. The next word we can use to replace expensive is overpriced. Overpriced. If you think the price of something is higher than what it is worth, you can say that it is overpriced. Examples: I wanted to buy a coffee at the airport, but it was overpriced. The souvenirs at the tourist shop were overpriced, so I didn't buy anything. You can say that something cost a small fortune, or that it cost an arm and a leg. This means that it is extremely expensive. Examples: sending all 3 children to college will cost a fortune. Upgrading to the latest smartphone cost a small fortune, but I needed it for work. My dream vacation to the Maldives cost an arm and a leg, but it was worth it. Renovating the kitchen cost an arm and a leg, but now it looks like something out of a magazine. If you think that you are being charged an unfairly high price, you can say that it is daylight robbery in British English, or that it is highway robbery in American English. Examples: the price of parking near the stadium is daylight robbery. $20 for a small popcorn at the cinema, that's highway robbery. If something is so expensive that people cannot do it or buy it, you can say that it is prohibitively expensive. Examples: I wanted to travel to Japan, but the flights were prohibitively expensive. The concert tickets were prohibitively expensive, so we watched the live stream instead. Now, if something is expensive that it is impossible for someone to achieve or get, you can also say that it is beyond reach or it is out of reach. Examples: the beachside villa is beautiful, but it is beyond reach for our budget. The latest fashion trends are often beyond reach for those on a tight budget. She loves that designer dress, but it's completely out of reach. Luxury cars like that are completely out of reach for most people.